You've had a remarkable 22-year baseball career, but to fill that out a bit, you were drafted at the age of 17. You started playing in the majors when you were 18, and it's been a very colorful career filled with some highs and lows. Some of the highs, 696 home runs is just the beginning. You were 4th on the all-time home run list. You were a 3-time most valuable player, 14-time All-Star. You've hit 25 grand slams. That's more than any other player in the history of baseball. And of course, in 2009, you were a world champion. Less well known, you've privately focused your charity on the Boys and Girls Club where you learned to play baseball, and you've made significant donations to the University of Miami and FIU. Soon you'll start as your role with the Yankees as a special advisor, which is a big change because this is the big part. You hung up your Yankees uniform as a player a few weeks ago. Your last game was a big dramatic event. And as with everything in your career, the moment it ended, the New York press was all over you saying, you're going to be playing again. We're going to see Alex show up in another uniform any day. So let's start there. Are you going to play again?
Oh, well, hardball right off the bat. First of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you. Wow, that was quite an introduction. Thanks to Google for having me and speaking in front of this incredible crowd. It's obviously the smartest group of people I've ever spoken to, so I'm a little intimidated, so take it easy with me. As far as playing again, Jessica, I think, look, sometimes when you play for 22 years, the ending sometimes is complicated. And, I've talked to this at length where sometimes in baseball, the ending has a funny way of tapping you on the shoulder when you least expect it. And the way that it ended for me in front of my friends and my family and people that I love and people that have supported me for over 2 decades, and having my mother and my 2 daughters on the field to share that moment with, it's a day that I'll never forget. So right now I would say that I'm very happy.
That sounds good, but I want to press you on it because we just heard 696 home runs. Now that's meaningful because you're just 4 away from 700. Mm-hmm. There are only 3 players in the history of baseball 4 away. Did I say 3? There are only 3 players in the history of baseball who've hit 700. It is a Mount Everest. There's not a chance you might go back just to break that milestone.
Look, I will admit 700 is very, very tempting. It's a big number. You play for a long time. I've been playing ever since I was 3 or 4 years old. I've been in love with the game forever. But if you asked me that question 5 years ago, the definite answer would have been a definite yes. And I wouldn't be here right now. I would be in another major league clubhouse, playing baseball and trying to pursue more wins and more home runs and more, right? But one of the unexpected good things when I served my suspension in 2014 was that I had an opportunity to think and reflect. And I had a full-year sabbatical, which I highly recommend, by the way. Not for a suspension, though. And I had a chance to press the pause button and think about how my actions impact other people. And, for a long time, I judged myself on numbers, wins, home runs, RBIs. And somewhere in that year suspension, I thought about, I want my future to be judged in a different way. And I wanted a different measuring stick. I wanted a different barometer. And what I thought about was my behavior and my actions was how I wanted to be judged. And I also wanted to think about the relationships and building relationships and nurturing those relationships. And when you think about being in a Major League Baseball clubhouse, the relationship with your teammates, your coaches, your managers, my relationship with Bob Manfred in the commissioner's office today, our leader of the Players Union, Tony Clark, all these things are very, very important to me. And when I came back, I wanted to make sure I was a different person with a different outlook, with a different appreciation of how grateful I am for this great opportunity to play baseball. And to a certain degree, I think I did that. I often say I'm only at first base. I have a long ways to go. But if you accomplish that, in many ways, the message for my 2 daughters would be, that's like hitting 700 home runs. In some ways, it's like hitting 800 home runs.